TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Was Tony Schiavone good to work with? A lot of people told me that he was pretty much a dick.
I heard he had a lot of heat with a lot of the wrestlers. Like he big leagued some of the younger guys.
Well, Tony did what he was told to do.
Right.
And I mean, he was very professional. He worked hard, but whatever they told him to say. And a lot of times, as we're broadcasting, there's people in there coming in your ear, saying this and that. And but Tony was real easy to work with. He was a great announcer. I mean, I would get heat too, but it wasn't. I mean, not like with. I'll tell you some heat. It wasn't really heat. I go to the catering one time, right? And I'm sitting there eating, and Benoit comes over, and Eddie Guerrero comes over, and Perry Saturn comes over, and a couple other of the younger guys who wanted to break.
Right.
But they're all like 5'8",
huh.
And they all come over and sit down next to me, and I'm looking at them, I'm going, well, thanks for letting me eat first before, you gang me up here.
Huh.
So they wanted to have a talk because Benoit was upset because of something I said in the broadcast. I says, well, what are you talking about, Chris? Well, I was wrestling this guy, and you kind of made it sound like I was a small guy. So I says, Chris, you're wrestling. I mean, this might be the wrong guy, but it's the ring. I mean, you're wrestling Sid Vicious. The guy is 6'7". You're this tall.
Right.
The guy in the truck is telling me, oh my God, talk about the size difference. And, oh God, look at the difference here. Sid. I mean,
Right.
What do you want me to say? I can't.
Right.
You can't please everybody when you're in that. I'm going to say, hey, Benoit's just as tall as Sid Vicious.
Huh.
But, so some guys would get heat just for saying things. But if you look at the reality, some of the guys, too, they want you to put them over when sometimes, you can't put them over because the truck's telling you to put this guy over.
When you're doing a play-by-play, how much are they telling you to say through the headsets? Is it a lot? And do you think maybe they should just leave you alone and let you call the match?
Well, most of the time they leave you alone. I mean, it's rare you hear something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, it's rare. And normally, I mean, I was doing the color. I was an ad-lib guy. The most guy that you'd hear we talking would be the play-by-play guy, A lot of time cues. You got 30 seconds left. Make sure you plug Snickers or some shit,
right.
Which wouldn't, involve me.
Who did you look at as announcers, or who did you model yourself, or who did you try to learn from when you started out doing it?
Well, you know what? I didn't model myself.
And who did you think was the best announcer from back in the day? Who's your favorite?
Well, let me tell you, I never paid attention to announcers. When I was wrestling, I was into the wrestling thing. It's kind of an interesting story now that you brought this up. When they first asked me to do the broadcasting, I was kind of ticked off. I was almost kind of insulted. To me, being a broadcaster, I didn't realize how important it was. It is very important to get stuff over. And you really have to have a talent for it. Some guys can do great interviews, can't broadcast to save their life. But at first, I never listened to any announcer because I didn't think about it. I didn't take it serious. It had nothing to do with being a wrestling star as far as I was concerned. I got kind of into it because at that time Bill Watts came in, and he had this new idea he was selling TBS on, where everybody over 40 was old news, not worth a damn except Flair. So we're going to push all the young guys. And what that meant was he's pushing Erik Watts. That was all the young guys.
Right.
And then when I saw Erik Watts get in the ring, trip over his own feet, and beat Arn Anderson, I said, "Well, I quit. Goodbye. You're not killing me, goofy Bill Watts again."
Huh.
So anyway, at that time, I decided to take advantage of their comp and my insurance. So I had one of my knees scoped out. It's a good excuse.
All right.
Scope my knee scope. Knee scope. So I'm sitting around for a couple of months getting paid. So I get a call from somebody. I don't know what happened. Jesse left or something. They wanted, well, you're sitting around getting paid. You mind doing something, maybe we need a guy to do some broadcasting. This whatever happened.
Right.
So I said, okay. So I drive down and I sat down. I don't know if it was with Gordon Soley or Schiavone, maybe Jim Ross. I can't remember. And I'm doing the color. And the next day I get a call. Jesus Christ, that was the best color killer commentating we've ever heard. And at that time, there was kind of a choice between me and Jesse.
Right.
And they wanted me to do it. But I was kind of insulted. I said, hey, I sold out Shea Stadium, a wrestling star. If you guys did this right, don't listen to Bill Watts. Start drawing money till you're 35, 40 years old. And so I was kind of like insulted. But then, I was 40 years old at the time. But the way things were booked, they weren't right. They were killing it. But then it was weird. And the more you said you didn't want to do something, the more they were insistent. So I said, look, I don't know about doing the color. And then right away, whoever it was at the time, well, we'll pay you this.
Right.
And then we'll make you an employee and give you all the benefits and pay you this. For what? For that? For broadcasting? So I figured it was a good time with the politics and the age to step out. Because I could always go back in, but you don't want to get burned out. You don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get lost in the politics.
Right.
Here I am. My wife has to put over Erik Watts and Dustin Rhodes because their father. So I took him up on it, and it was I made more money doing the damn broadcasting than I ever did wrestling in all those years. It was a great deal, and then I wound up doing before Nitro, doing all the post work. Except for maybe the one center stage on and off. So it was like I worked a day a week, made more money than ever, had all the benefits.
Right.
Lived on the golf course for 10 years, and now I'm spoiled rotten.
Can't beat that.
I guess, did you like doing commentary? I mean, you said you wanted to retire, so you didn't have to be in the ring with the politics. Did you like it?
Oh, I love doing the commentary. That's the best job outside of being a wrestling star. That don't last forever.
Right.
But that's a great job because, in terms of television time, the 10 years in WCW between the Pro Show and the syndicated shows and the TBS, TNT, the Nitro 1 hour, I was on TV 4 or 5 times a week. I got tremendous publicity for my age, which most of my age group was gone.
Right.
Most of them. And I got a lot of publicity, and I was able to put myself in here and there just to keep it alive. But that was the best thing. We were involved in the business. You do enough traveling to have fun, but you don't get beat up. But people don't realize what an art it is too. I mean, I had to change the character. When I started broadcasting, I was the bad guy. But you can't be a bad guy and do a good job at broadcasting because you
have to shit on everybody.
Kind of, but your job is to build that. And I slowly became a good guy, and that's why people kept chanting Larry at the end. I went full blown against the New World Order.
Right.
But you want people to listen to the commentators and not be annoyed by them. That's why Paulie could be a manager. But if Paulie is announcing, co-hosting a show for an hour, you want to turn the show off. You can't take it.
Right.
It's too annoying, and you don't put over the talent.
TitleMatchNetwork.com